Hi, I am Megan Kraus, and this is my Module 5, Understanding My Community, or Lincoln Elementary. We do have a lot of customs and traditions that we like to do at Lincoln. We do have a close-knit group of students and families just because they all live and work in the same areas. We have lots of student interaction across grade levels. They like to have friends in different grade levels and that sort of thing. Our school tries to have smaller class sizes so that we can get our students more individual attention. Some of the traditions that we have is haircuts and hot dogs. We do this every year. We bring in barbers and beauticians into our building in the evening after school one day, and they give our students free haircuts, and then they get hot dogs for dinner that night. And this is all before picture day so that our students can look their best. Then we do, during Christmas time, gingerbread houses as a whole school. It's a little chaotic, but it's very fun. And then in March, we get to go to the NJCAA basketball games here in Hutchinson. Our students have to earn their ticket, basically, to go, but they have a great time every year. And then in about April, we have a field day. It's a whole school field day. Our PE teacher sets it up, and our kids get to rotate around. In the morning, they do whole class activities. In the afternoon, they do partner activities, and it's all outside. And then at the very end of the year, our PTO helps us have a end of the year block party, and we bring in community resources and that sort of thing for our students and staff and parents and people in the community to get to know us here at Lincoln. Some of our population characteristics, our parents, only about 30% of them have an education higher than high school. We at Lincoln Elementary deal with kindergartners, so 5-year-olds up to 6th graders, which is about 12-year-olds. We have 46 females as students and 53 males in our building. Our parents, most of them are unemployed. We have a very low poverty rate of our families that we work with. So most of our parents are unemployed, or if they do have the job, it's a very blue-collar job. They either work at fast food, they could do Tyson, which is some of our packing plants here in town. We have some who work at the prison. And then we also have a mix of race. We have African American, white, Hispanic, and we have a small variety of others. We're 3% African American, 52% white, 32% Hispanic, and we have 9% other, which would be Hawaiian or Asian descent. Communication channels. We do have a school website that our parents can get on and look at stuff. We also have a Facebook site. Our parents utilize this one a lot to communicate with us via Facebook Messenger. They also can get on whenever we do awards or that type of thing, and they can see their students on Facebook. We also have used Google Classroom and Seesaw, and we strongly use those here during the COVID. They were very helpful for us. We also use calls or text messages from schools with announcements or if we need to get hold of a parent. Our families normally use TV or internet for their information. That's going on in the community. It just depends on which they can afford. Some of them have one or not the other, so it just kind of depends. And then our staff communicates via email or text most of the time. We have lots of different community groups that help in our building. First of all, we have a lot of families that attend the same church, and that's also where Love Lincoln comes out of and how they were able to get connected with this church in town. Love Lincoln every Saturday has a set location where our students can go, and they are college-age kids from this church that are teaching our kids rules, respect, responsibility, and definitely a lot of church activities that they do with them. We also have Communities That Care. That is there's adults that are involved in it, but it's mostly high school age students that run the group, and they do a lot of community service projects against drugs, that sort of thing. We also have First Presbyterian Church, which is a local church here in town that that sponsors Lincoln and has joined with us to help our students get different materials, items. I know here during COVID, they helped a couple of our students get laptops that weren't able to, so that they could still communicate with us. We also have the Big Brothers Big Sisters program here in town that is very big in our school. And since we do have a lot of either single parent homes or a lot of poverty, we try to connect a lot of our students with a big brother or big sister to try to get them to see a different way of life that maybe they would want someday. We also have the Kiwanis group here in town that helps us with a program called Bugs. They're bringing up grades. So every trimester they come in and our students have set a goal for themselves. If they have reached this goal, they get to attend the Kiwanis or Bugs party. So. And then also our staff is a big supporter of our school, but also they go out into the community and do a great job of promoting Lincoln. So, known leadership. Definitely in our building, we have our superintendent and our school board members who are our highest. Then we have our donors to our school. We have quite a few donors. A lot of them are definitely I guess you could call them secretive donors, but we have lots of donors just because we are a low-income school. Next would be our principal. We have one head principal. We do not have an assistant in our building. We do have a counselor that helps as well, but our principal does most of the discipline and that sort of thing. Then we have 6 teachers on our BLT, which is our building leadership team, and they get to help make a lot of the decisions for the school. They also are able to then talk to other staff members and bring their opinions, questions, that sort of thing to the meetings. And then we have a PTO, which is a great job, but they definitely help with field trips and that sort of thing. So that would be our leadership at Lincoln. Some community leader characteristics. Our community leaders definitely want what's best for our students here at Lincoln. They want to see them succeed. They want to see them come out of poverty. They are also definitely big supporters of our school and our donors. They definitely appreciate everything we do for our students down at Lincoln and that sort of thing. And then we also are able to bring some of those community leaders and members into our building to show our students different occupations, different ways of life, and just help them to broaden their horizon. So, our economic conditions for the families that come to Lincoln, we are definitely, like I have said, we have low-income families. We have 88% of our families are low-income families. Every single student in our building receives free and reduced lunch. We also have quite a few language barriers with the Hispanic population that we have in our building. We have 11% of our building is English language learners or EDL, and most of those are Hispanic. We have a couple other languages, but mostly Hispanic. And then we also have 25% of our students with learning disabilities. So 25% of our students in our building have an IEP of some sort, whether that's academic or behavioral or speech, OT, PT. We have 25% of our students that with a learning disability. So. Political structures, church and state. I know that I said that First Presbyterian Church is a big supporter of us, and that is true. We just definitely have to make sure that where that church and state line is. We do get state and federal support since we are a public school, and we do get to use tax exempt as well. So, social tensions. We definitely have some social economic issues. Just because a lot of our parents either can't afford things for our students, or gas is an issue. Definitely the poverty, getting you're not being able to pay for your utilities, that sort of thing is definitely an issue. We do have somewhat of a gang and somewhat of a drug issue as well. Definitely more drugs than gang, but excuse me. But we have those issues in our building as well that we are highly aware of. Extra sources of information. We have school records that we keep in our building. We also do surveys, parent and students, beginning of the year, and then at our conferences twice a year. You can definitely look at the minutes of the school board meeting, and then we have parent resources. Like we have a few parent groups in our building. We do actually one through Zoom every couple weeks, and then we also have a PTO that our families' parents can serve on as that committee as well. As a power structure, we're definitely top-down structure. Our superintendent, board of education, and then principal, and then us teachers. We are starting into this new redesign process this year, so we're hoping to change that to a top-down approach versus a bottom-up approach versus a top-down approach. And then we also have our PTO in our building that is a strong power structure. So, multicultural issues. We do have poverty, like I said. We have very low income, but we also try to weave the different cultures of our students into our displays, written materials, menus, holidays, customs. We definitely try to incorporate everything of that into our yearly activities and all that. Written material, every IEP can come in English or Spanish, which is most of our languages that our parents talk. So we also have some of those barriers where we might have a family that is all Spanish speaking at home. So when we try to contact the house by phone, sometimes we have to have the students talk to them or at least get an interpreter. So power structure, definitely we influence a lot of our students' decisions through rewards and punishments. We do this because at home they do not get a lot of these rewards, so we would prefer to reward our students for doing positive things and that sort of thing. We do have a plan, and expectations are the same for every single student no matter the situation, and those are all defined by the school principal. She gets to make the final say. So measuring public opinion. We do, like I said, have the surveys done by the parents, students, and then we also have one for the staff that's done yearly. Then our BLT, our building leadership team, discusses the results. And then the results are taken to staff to come up with solutions as to what we can do different in our building to appease or to help some of these situations that were brought up in these surveys. And then public opinion surveys. We do have a few surveys that we send out, but I think that we should send a few more out just to kind of get more opinions back from the community, so to see what they think we should be doing or shouldn't, or what they like or what they're not liking of what Lincoln is doing. Law enforcement is a huge presence in our building, sometimes positive, sometimes negative, but I really feel like we should get their opinion on what we're doing in our building a little bit more. So, along with those local businesses that we like to bring in and that sort of thing. I also feel like if we would get a little bit more of our parents' opinions, that maybe we would have a little bit more parent presence in our building as well. So, alrighty, well, that is my presentation, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.